Hi, my name is Hafi. I'm currently an art student. I do a lot of paintings, I do a lot of drawings, particularly landscapes. So in today's video, I will teach you guys on how to paint trees only by using watercolor. Okay, personally, based on my own experience, when I was little, I love to draw a lot of trees. I love to draw a lot of mountains, nature, stuff like that. And I thought that's good enough, but then I looked through a lot of things online, and somehow there are a lot of more artists, a lot more people that can draw better. So that's what triggers me to practice a lot. So I look up a lot of tutorials, I make a lot of practices, and thankfully until today I can do better. I can paint better than how I did before. And as a watercolor enthusiast, so it's my turn. I will guide you guys and walk through on stuff that you need to know. And firstly, I'll talking about the right materials that you need to have for watercolor. Secondly, understanding the tree shapes and structures, because there are a lot of different kinds of trees. And lastly is about applying the right watercolor techniques so that you can have an expressive results that you want. Now, first of all, before you start your painting, you need to find the right materials. For example, in front of me, I have watercolor paper because it's more thicker. If you want to compare it with like normal paper, for example, like it's more thinner, so it can easily get wrinkled and bend. So you want to avoid that. And next, you would have to find different sizes of brush. Like now, I have a smaller brush and a bigger brush, so you don't have to buy a lot. But you would need a round brush, a smaller round brush, so that you can make the details. For example, the trunk or the branch of the trees. Next, you need water. For this, I just use a recycled container from the plastic bottle that I drank earlier. Lastly, you would need some kind of plate or palette for you to mix your paints. For the paints, just get at your local store or at your local stationery store or art store. You can buy any brand you want, but make sure the paint that you buy is watercolor paint. So those are the materials that you needed to have before you start a watercolor painting. Furthermore, you need to also understand how trees are shaped. Different trees have different kinds of shapes. Most of it have three parts, which is the trunks, the branches, and the leaves. You can look up real trees or pictures to make sure what kind of trees that you are drawing. Additionally, it is quite important for you guys to draw some light sketches before you start your painting so that you will know how everything will go. Here are a few light sketches that I drew. Here we have pine trees. You know, pine trees are tall, skinny, and have pointy branches. Meanwhile, oak trees are bigger, rounder, and have more leaves. Now you are ready to paint. We will start with a technique called wet on wet. This means by putting wet paint on wet paper. So you might want to use a bigger brush. Then you take a little bit of water, and then you wanna just apply it on your paper. You don't have to apply that much. You just want to make sure the surface is wet enough, because we want the paint to blend easily and smoothly. Right, so now we are going to paint our trees. You are going to mix a light yellow, like this color, and we're just going to apply it like this. So now we are going to mix a darker green. This is a wet on wet technique. It makes soft Like you can see, it creates smooth shapes, which is good for the leaves and the backgrounds. Now we are going to wait for this to dry because we are going to add more details. Next we will try wet on dry, which means putting wet paint on dry paper. So you just grab a darker color like of green, type of green, and then you just put it. We're gonna add more details here. Alright, so now that we have our leaves, you now want to add some lines for the branches to make the trees look more realistic. So you just take your fine brush, which is a smaller brush, and you want to mix a darker color. You might want to use a little bit of red because we're going to make the color of the branch, which is brown. Slowly, like, make a straight line like this. Add some more of the branches because trees have a lot of branches. Just going to do like this. You can have fun in this part if you want because it's so easy and very relaxing to do for me personally. So that is called a wet or dry technique. This gives you sharper lines. It's very perfect for adding details like the branches or the tree bark. So mixing these two methods will help your painting have both soft areas and clearer and more clear details, making your trees look more interesting and alive. Now that we have gone over all of the basics, you are ready to start your own watercolor trees painting. We talked about how important it is by needing the right materials, understanding the shapes of the trees, the structures, and by applying the right watercolor techniques like wet on wet and wet on dry. Each step helps make your tree paintings look more real and more creative. Painting trees with watercolor is a great way to express your love for nature through art. With more practice and more patience, you will see your skills grow. So just grab your brush, start experimenting, and just, enjoy the peaceful process of painting trees. And that's all from me. I hope this tutorial helps, and I hope that I can answer some of your questions. That's all from me today. I'll see you guys next time. Bye. Thank you so much.